Welcome back to Low Memory Reviews, bringing you reviews of your favourite anime at a very fast 128 megabytes of RAM. Before we get started on today's review, I want to mention I had initially planned on doing a review for Akisora and Akisora Yume no Naka. I think I mentioned it in the Yosuga no Sora review. I wrote that review and I recorded the audio for it, but ultimately I trashed it because I don't know how to review something like that. So here's a mini review of it. If you like incest porn, you'll like Akisora. Okay, now on to today's review. Today I will be reviewing Ore no Imoto ga konani kawaii wakagai nai, aka My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute, aka Oreimo, which is what I'll be calling it for the rest of this review because screw the full name. Oreimo was originally a light novel series written by Tsukasa Fushimi with a manga adaptation as well. The anime adaptation, which was brought to us by AIC Build, who also gave us Boku wa Tomodachi ga Sukanai. The anime has 2 seasons and a few specials each season, which are very important to the story. Oreimo primarily follows Kyosuke Kosaka and Kirino Kosaka, siblings who don't have the best relationship at the start of the show, with Kirino constantly insulting and berating her brother on a regular basis. Our other important characters include everyone's favourite anime vampire clan level tunie, Ruri Kuroneko Goku, everybody's least favourite bespectacled childhood friend, Minami Tamura, Ayase Aragaki, who's Kirino's best friend, and Sayori Makishima, the weeb with those swirly glasses. Most of these girls serve as love interest for Kyosuke somewhere down the line, except for Sayori. As I mentioned earlier, Kirino and Kyosuke have a pretty dysfunctional relationship at the beginning of Oreimo, with Kirino going out of her way to abuse Kyosuke at every turn. Kyosuke is your average harem anime protagonist, to a T mostly. He is pretty average all around and generally nice and helpful to every girl in the show. While this harem protagonist business is kinda cliched and boring, I didn't have much of a problem with it because he's not a completely unlikable dude. He serves his role well and he gets some level of development as a character. His sister Kirino is the perfect girl who's beautiful, smart, and athletic and is secretly a massive otaku. As generic as I made her sound by that description, Kirino is a very polarizing character, being incredibly relatable to some, but absolute detestable trash to others. Kirino and Kyosuke get a bit closer when Kyosuke finds out about her secret otaku side, with Kirino asking for his help on how to deal with it, keeping it a secret and accepting it. Because Kyosuke went to the school of harem protagonists, he helps his sister no matter what. One day Kirino ropes Kyosuke into going with her to meet some people she met online. These people are Kuroneko and Sayori. Sayori is generally a rather minor character, especially during season 1, so I won't talk about her that much. Kuroneko, on the other hand, is arguably the main contender for Kyosuke's love during the whole series, so I will be talking about her a lot. Voiced by Kana Hanazawa, so you know she's a quality girl, Kuroneko is that chuny kind of otaku who dresses extravagantly and constantly makes references to her favourite fantasy anime. Kuroneko is more into fantasy anime, while Kirino likes moe shit and little sister-oriented stuff, so it really offers up that polar opposite rivalry early on, which becomes very important. You also get to know Minami, who's Kyosuke's childhood friend, and Ayase, who's Kirino's best friend. Minami's very nice, she's a childhood friend, so that's her character, and Ayase's kind of a bitch. That's her character. From this point on, it's a lot of just interaction between the characters, not much really happens. Kirino trying to keep her otaku nature secret from her friends, Kyosuke doing what harem protags do, standing up for his sister even when she doesn't deserve it, and talking to all the other girls and being a nice man and all that harem stuff. This is most of what happens in season 1, not a lot of it was very memorable for me, which makes it hard for me to talk about it. As you know, this review is me trying to remember it. However, I feel season 1 gets its strong points in its messages about being yourself and all that sappy jazz. Regardless of how you feel about Kirino, she has a hard time accepting who she is because she thinks that society won't accept it, which can be very relatable for anyone who is any degree of otaku. And that's the main reason I enjoyed the first season of Oreimo. The incest in Season 1 is very undertoned for the most part, and I would recommend Season 1 of Oreimo to most people. The Season 1 specials are even better, and honestly are my favourite part of the whole series, as it focuses more on Kuroneko and Kyosuke's relationship and less on Kirino. Now we go to Season 2 and my smile and optimism will slowly start to disappear. Honestly, I found Season 2 a lot more memorable than Season 1, but for all the wrong reasons. While Season 1 served to build the characters, have nice interactions between these characters, and give you some nice messages about being yourself, Season 2 serves to push the harem part of this and reach a conclusion with which girl Kyosuke will choose. His sister? The cute Chuni girl? His childhood friend? His sister's friend? Or his sister's other friend who I haven't spoken about because she wasn't relevant until this point? And because of this push of the harem and trying to reach its conclusion, it created a lot of memorable moments, albeit bad ones. Season 2 does explore a relationship between Kyosuke and Kuroneko, which was very nice while it lasted. Ultimately, the relationship served to muddy the conclusion a little bit and probably offer fan service to the fans the show is about to piss off. Ayase becomes a yandere for some reason, and that really sums up Season 2 the best. Things happen and they're just weird and make you wonder what happens in Season 1. It can be entertaining, but it can also be pretty bad. Now this is when I'm going to start getting heated, and we're going to definitely go into spoiler territory, so please skip to the timestamp allocated on the video if you do not want the ending of Oreimo spoiled for you. But trust me, you don't want to experience the ending of Oreimo. If you only watch Season 2 and leave out the Season 2 specials, you will get an unsatisfying non-ending. It just kinda ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, I guess. But, in saying that, it is a non-ending, but I think it's better than the ending the specials provide. I strongly recommend not watching the Season 2 specials. It's not fucking worth it. And let me explain why it's not worth it. Firstly, you have to understand that this is a harem anime and that the protag might not pick your favourite girl, and while that sucks, ultimately, it should be fine. So, what happens is that Kyosuke goes and rejects each girl one by one, and he also confesses to Kirino during this time. First, it's fuck you to the Ayase fags out there, burning that bridge, Ayase pleading with lines like, if you don't go out with me, I'll kill you, and ultimately leaving it with her kissing him on the cheek, probably never talking ever again. Then Kyosuke goes and rejects Kirino's other friend who was barely fucking relevant to begin with. He does it while she's on stage because she's becoming an idol or something. Like a troop though, she sucks up the rejection and tells Kyosuke that he'll regret it when she becomes the best idol ever, and I quite enjoyed that. At some point during this mess, Kyosuke confesses, and I think even proposes to Kirino. It's a fucking mess at this point, so just thinking about it is upsetting. Kyosuke then has to go burn another bridge. Kuroneko. Oh, fuck me. I will admit now, I am somewhat of a Kuroneko fag, and this was pretty hard to watch as a result. Complete with Kuroneko wailing due to the sadness, and a nice little cutaway to her sisters wondering when Kyosuke would come over again. Oh. A really bad time, but at least Kyosuke is making his decision and standing with what he believes and who he loves. So, that's okay, right? Well... Now we get to the final bridge to burn and possibly the highlight of these god-awful specials. Minami, Kyosuke's childhood friend. I'm not going to get too deep into discussion about what I think in regards to Minami's action through the whole series, because I'll be here all day. Minami confronts Kyosuke and Kirino, finally confesses her love to him, tells them what they're doing is wrong, and then beats up Kirino a bit. That part was pretty satisfying, and that's where the satisfaction ends. She ultimately leaves, possibly never talking to Kyosuke ever again. So here we are, we've reached our destination, our conclusion! Kyosuke decided to burn all the bridges and choose his sister as the girl he loves. It might not be the best conclusion, although for some of you it might be, but at least it's a conclusion, right? I can be happy with a conclusion, a solid ending. Right? Wrong! Kyosuke and Kirano have some mock wedding because obviously they can't have a real one because that's fucking illegal. Suggests they have sex and cool off the whole relationship. They apparently planned that they'd only do it temporarily, then cool it off, and nothing fucking happens. Kyosuke goes and rejects every girl that likes him for this relationship while knowing that it wasn't going to fucking last. This ending is a fucking cop-out. I would have been happier if he just chose Kirano, but no, he chooses no one, and apparently everything goes back to how it used to be, even though he fucking rejected every fucking girl that loved him. Do not watch this fucking trash. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. It's so fucking bad. Holy fucking shit. So in conclusion, I'd recommend Season 1 and the Season 1 specials. It's a nice watch, nice characters, nice visuals, nice story, and just a nice time. However, do not bother with Season 2 and definitely do not go near the Season 2 specials. And yeah, I can't even rate this show with how polarized I am about it, and I need to go calm down. So yeah, this review took me a lot longer than it should have to make. I started it about like 2 months ago, and then I just kept putting it off because I had no footage for Season 2 and I couldn't be bothered getting any because, as you just found out, Season 2 is trash. And in retrospect, this review isn't very good. I don't make my points very well, and I speak like shit, but whatever, I'll upload this anyway, might as well. And just do better next time. If you want to watch the last review, you can probably click on the screen if I remember to put the annotation, and don't forget to like the video or do whatever. I don't give a shit.